red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, facts, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts, you can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road, you better stay on your toes. I was telling land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the daytime, Brother Red Pillar. All right. Shout out to all of my KT aliens in the building. That song that you just heard, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Facts remix by the 44 Tops. 44 Tops, all right? Shout out to the 44 Tops, you dig? All right. Let's see what's going on. How we sound on the audio, first and foremost. How we sound on the audio, all right? Okay, California, you in St. Vincent. Yes, big ups. Wagwan, big ups. Shout out to St. Vincent's and whatnot. Shout out to the Caribbeans. Get the mic working. Hold on. Audio crispy. Let me turn up the volume. Now I'm not on the camera mic. I'm on a Micington. Pause. I'm not on the camera mic. No.
The fuck, gang.
Yeah, y'all got our early bird special. We're gonna let this one breathe throughout the daytime and whatnot. So yeah, that's what it is. Let's do the roll call and let's get into this show. Let's do the roll call and then let's get into the show because we're gonna be talking today. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna be talking. Yeah, roll call. We got Colorado Springs in a building. Got Colorado. We got Queens in the build. We got Hartford, Connecticut. We got BK, Baltimore. Akron. We got Akron in the effing building. B-more in the building. All right. Flint, Michigan in the building. Hidden Mounds in the building. Bishopville, South Carolina, Seattle, Bmore, Culver City, North Carolina, New Bedford, Arizona, New Bedford, San Jose, El Paso, Texas, Sagnasty, Michigan, the Bronx, all right? St. Vincent and Grenadine, Oakland in the Uptown, Las Vegas, Virgin Islands, yeah. Baltimore, be more in the building. Be more in the building. Man, let's get right into it. We're not doing rest in peace Hulk Hogan over here. I'm sorry. We're not doing rest in peace Ozzy Osbourne over here. I'm sorry. Like, let's be motherfucking clear. This is not where we gonna be doing the motherfucking condolences to people who we don't fuck with. Straight like that. We wait for days like this. Let me light up. We wait for days like this. Let me light up. Heroes turn into villains. Heroes turn into zeros. We ain't doing that. Yes, Hulk Hogan grew us up. Yes, Hulk Hogan showed us that wrestling was fake. He introduced us to a fake sport. But as we go through the day and as we go through the show, we're going to expose Mr. Hulk Hogan for who he truly is. And this is going to be a conversation that we're going to have to our people. Like, where does the line get drawn? You know what I'm saying? Where does the line get drawn and whatnot when it comes to these type of conversations? Is it a race bait thing? You know what I mean? Like, does the person have to? I just want to know, where do we draw the line? Because this is why, in my humble opinion, we do not move forward as a people. We don't know how to stay on code. We don't know how to stay on code. There's a code that we got to stay with. There's a code that we got to stand with. Oh, that Ozzy Osbourne pack, that shit smoking real good. You talking about the Zionists? You talking about the racist Ozzy Osbourne? You talking about the fucking dysfunctional bat head eater? No, we're not doing that over here. We're not doing that over here. We ain't into none of that. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not fanning out over no niggas who would have told me rest in piss. Who that Hulkamania smoking real good. Man, I had to go to the I had to go ahead and get the I had to get that I had to get the Leafingtons. I was smoking the white papers, but nah, I had to go get me a leaf, nigga. Niggas all on my timeline talking about the Prince of Darkness, rest in peace, daddy, and all of this stupid shit. What are we doing? What are we doing? Ozzy Osbourne? Now, it's wild crazy, right? How this shit works out. We was talking about Malcolm Jamal Warner, which took us to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby show, The Cosby Show, outside of whatever accusations Bill Cosby is accused of, it does not take away from the family time that we sat down and watched. He fucked up my childhood with him catching the case. Yeah, I'm mad at Bill too. You know what I'm talking about? I'm mad at Bill too. We got to talk about this one day. I'm mad at Bill too. But it doesn't take away from the experience. It doesn't take away from the truth of the matter that Bill Cosby raised multiple generations. It's not just my generation. He raised generation after that. They was syndicated and whatnot. He raised the generation that came before me, what they call unks these days and whatnot, or schoolies and whatnot. You know, the old heads, the baby boomers and whatnot. They was rocking with the Bill Cosby show. He represented a certain type of vibration and frequency, something that we haven't seen in our collective community shown to us in a quote-unquote post-Tyler Perry world. When you look at the Tyler Perry productions, when you look at Lee Daniels productions, when you look at Lena Waithe and all of these people who supposed to be children of Bill Cosby, right? They're supposed to have been inspired by him. None of that shit is in their quote-unquote TV shows. It's not in their characters. It's not in their quote-unquote. It does not compare. Nothing stands close to the Cosby model. Why? Because it was told to me that nobody in Hollywood would greenlight a Cosby show after the Cosby show. Because remember, you got to go through the white people in order to get your shit on TV these days. Now you have the pleasure of starting out a television show on Facebook, YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, you could do it yourself. But prior to that, you had to get green lit by the real estate agents, right? You had to get green lit, and they had to go through all of that, you know what I mean? They had to read through things. They were very meticulous about what they would allow on their broadcast networks and whatnot. Bill Cosby had black people going to college. Bill Cosby had black men want to raise their little Theos and their Olivias and their their children. Bill Cosby had black men want to be a family again. Bill Cosby had black men want to be articulate again. Bill Cosby had black men want to be lawyers, want to be doctors. Claire Huxtable had women want to be doctors and professionals. You know what I mean? They had them living like they wanted to be on some Martha's Vineyards, Oak Bluff type of shit, right? This is after Norman Lear put out a whole bunch of BS in the 70s and whatnot. Now, Norman Lear was behind Good Times and all of these other things. As much as I love Good Times, it was a motherfucking, it had a lot of traces of what they would call a minstrel show in it. It was towing the line, right? The majority of the shows today are towing the line on a minstrel show. One foot in minstrel, the other one out, right? And people are like, all right, I'm okay with that because there's a balance. Well, back in the days with the Cosby Show, you didn't have to worry. It had both feet in black excellence. It had both feet in a quote-unquote black excellence shared experience. It wasn't misogyny. It wasn't dealing with poverty mind state. It wasn't dealing with lack, shit like that. Yeah. And for the record, Norman Lear was a complete thief, a stealer, identity changer, and a thief of intellectual property of a melanated man named Eric Monte. Put that on the record. Go to Grok with that. You know what I'm talking about? Go to Grok with that and check it out and whatnot. The Cosby Show, in its inception, right, was an anomaly. Why is that? Because it literally came out during the same time as the crack epidemic. Okay? It was going up against, it was swimming upstream. It was going up against some of the harshest realities that we've had as a collection, as a collective people in our quote unquote history. Crack hit us harder than heroin. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? The crack era, shout out to Hunter Biden, who did an excellent job breaking down the difference between crack and cocaine. Shout out to the Clips, right? Shout out to the Clips. You know what I mean? They pushing the white girl as a powder. These rappers was pushing that shit as a rock. It was different. It's a different. Just listen to Hunter Biden. He'll break it down. He went and did the homework. He did it so you don't got to do it. You know what I mean? They had a character for each generation. Ruby, Oz. The only OZZY that I know is OZZY and Ruby, fam. The nigga who shot Gator. You know what I'm talking about? That's the only OZZY that I acknowledge. Hunter Biden, he laid out the 10 crack commandments. Lord had mercy. Get this man some crack. God damn it. Get that man some crack. It was Jungle Fever when he shot Gator. It was Jungle Fever. He shot. Get that man some crack. He deserves. You know what I mean? I don't know. What is it? I don't know how it goes. What is it? An eighth? An ounce? I don't know. But give him some crack because he did a video the other day breaking down. He did an interview. This nigga was breaking down the crack game in ways that I've never heard a rapper, a poet, a fucking a documentary, Netflix. Nobody broke it down like Hunter did. Okay, give him an 8-ball and give him an 8-ball jacket and get this man an 8-ball. Let him lay up. Salute Ossie Davis, baseball legend. Now I'm talking about Gator. What happened to the TV, Gator? So crack was a scourge when it came. It's been normalized because we are living in the generation of the crack babies who have given babies, right? Think about that. Crack babies grew up to have babies, right? So the weight of the whole blunt force of the thing is not felt these days because it has sort of like we've absorbed it as a people. We've gotten over it. The crackheads done rebounded and whatnot. They work in HR now. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Like they have healed. A lot of them have healed. So what was Cosby Show doing? Cosby Show was literally up against a quote unquote scourge. Unlike something that we've probably never seen before, chemical warfare, and hit the hood like Hiroshima. It hit the hood like Hiroshima. Yeah, these niggas is on Fetty Wap. Like we can, the shit is the YNs is on Fetty Wap. They smoke crack like a Black and Miles and shit. That's nothing to them. They on a Fetty Wap and the Perkies, my nigga. Like what they crack. What the fuck? Nigga, it's nothing. And he did a good job with the show, and he did a great job just putting it out. It wasn't an anti-crack sitcom, but it definitely had to say no to the drugs. All of that shit was incorporated in the messages. They had episodes where they confronted it, but I don't even think that he knew what was going on in the trenches of Black America and the heights that it would go to. Gangster rap with NWA and all of that shit where they popularized grown-ass men being gangbangers and whatnot. That also was taking place around circa 88, 89, 90. And to throw another rod into the fire, New York City, the 5 boroughs underneath David Dinkins, right, in 1990 was the murder capital of America. Was Olivia's mom a crackhead on the Cosby Show? If y'all remember that, let me know. And Olivia is Raven Simone. Okay. Thursday nights. He had Thursday. He had Third Eye Thursdays before I did. The Cosby Show used to come on Thursday nights. I also have to add, because I didn't add this in the last show, I have because everything is about setting the context. It's about context, right? There were 4 major channels back in those days. We did have WHO, HBO, We did have WHT. There was, but everybody didn't have cable because cable costs, and it was a premium. You know what I mean? So you have to go over people's house to watch cable back in the days. There were 4 major channels: NBC, CBS, ABC, and Fox. Fox being the newest channel, right? We had TV. We had TVs with a turning dial on it, and it didn't have 100 channels. It didn't have 50 channels. It had 4 major channels. These were the 4 major channels that they said Bill Cosby tried to buy one of them, right? And somebody said, I don't remember Fox. Fox came on the tail end because Fox was challenging Bill Cosby's reign on Thursdays. Fox went up against Bill Cosby on Thursdays. That was The Simpsons. That was Married with Children. All of the low frequency trailer trash, Ozzy Osbourne type of shit is what they came with. MTV comes later with the Ozzy Osbourne show, right? So the beginning of, and I just saw a fucking thing where they coming out with Married with Children, Netflix movie or some shit. Who the fuck asked for it? I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? I need y'all niggas to go and if y'all ran Bill Cosby through the mud, go and check on Ed O'Neill, my niggas, who played Al Bundy. I promise you there was some shit going on that set, my niggas. Y'all mean to tell me that y'all throw Bill Cosby under the desk and let Ed Bundy fucking breathe? So Fox debuted, they blew up because of Living Color. Yes, nobody was even paying attention. The signal on Fox was still janky when it came out, my G. You had to literally play with the antenna a lot. The shit was borderline motherfucking UHF. You know what I'm talking about? Fox had Martin. Fox had the black shows. They had Living Single, the edgy black shows. It was the antithesis to what the fuck Cosby was doing. Okay? So the old heads, not me, because I was young and I was confused, like, what you mean? But the old heads would say that all of those black shows on Fox were tippy-toeing on minstrel show motherfucking vibrations. Everybody wasn't running to watch Martin, my niggas. That's something that the youth was attached to. The old heads was like, what is this fucking coonery that I'm watching? Right? Ironically enough, black shows is what built up Fox. And now Fox, and I mean, this is the same Fox with Rupert Murdoch, correct? This is the same shit with Rupert Murdoch's, right? But these were the antithesis to something that we had, where black people were going to school, families were functioning, even though they had situations. That's what a sitcom is called, situation comedy. It's short. Sitcom is short for situation comedies. So Dr. Naeem Akbar called Martin Lawrence a buffoon. I didn't make that up. The Dr. Ben era, the Clarks and all of them, the Baba Samajas and all, those were the intellects. That's academia of our era. They didn't fuck with everything that was put out there, but they rocked with the Cosby Show aesthetics. They definitely rocked with the Cosby Show aesthetics. They were not fans of Jamie Foxx, Steve Harvey, none of that shit, to be honest with you. A lot of the crackhead aunts and uncles, they fucked with it. They like Shucky Ducky and everything. But a lot of people who were like cultured and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? The cultured blacks that go to Oak Bluff and Martha's Vineyard for the summer. Now, they wasn't fucking with that. Okay? They wasn't fucking with that. They had to get used to that shit. WB did the same thing. Yeah, UPN, which probably was WB, the UPN network, and WB and Fox, right? That was our low key. That was our TikTok type shit. That was underpaid. UPN stands for underpaid Negroes. That was them catering to us, right? With no equity. With no equity. None of these blacks own nothing on them channels. None of these blacks own nothing. And then VH1 came. So as you can see, that it's a play. As you can see, it's a play. The Fresh Prince was on Channel 4, correct? I won't say that the majority of the shows that Quincy Jones was behind, pause, those shows did not have a high level of, you know, they were not minstrel shows. They were not considered to be, you know, step and fetch it type of shit. And and Fresh Prince would be one of those. Also, the show that Malcolm and Eddie blew up UPN. VH1 used to Fresh Prince, Martin, you know what I mean? Look. He said the Cosbys were great, but they were a little too uppity for me, right? So that's interesting. You know what I mean? That's kind of interesting how people have seen it and whatnot. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in America wasn't living like that. You know what I mean? Everybody in America was not living like Bill Cosby or the Huxtables. That was more like a city type of thing. That was that big city type of thing. And, you know, the Jeffersons, you know what I mean? All of these type of shows are kind of like bigging up the city life, this idea of keeping up with the Jones and whatnot. This whole idea of the new Negro. It had a lot of W.E.B. Du Bois and, you know, the Talented 10th, the Divine Nine and all of that. Boule type shit. Borderline Boule type shit. Feel me? Borderline Boule type shit. You feel me? Remember Robert Townsend? He used to have he had shit on HBO. Robert Townsend came out with Hollywood Shuffle, right? He was the man. He was the one who was bucking a lot of shit with his movies and his productions. He was shining a lot of the light on the hypocrisy. Right. Yeah, Saturday nights. Amen. 227 and the Apollo. That was Channel 4, NBC, correct? That was NBC, correct? Now, look how many shows that I'm pulling out of the rabbit hat that were catering to our people. Well, you don't even have that now. They're not even investing in our entertainment like that now. You have fucking Bad Girls Club. You got this shit about Basketball Wives. I never knew so many people still watch that shit until my timeline is flooded. Talk about this woman beat her daughter up. Man. Y'all still watching that shit? The fuck? The fuck? I'm gonna get you, sucker. That's Robert Townsend, right? So the 90s is the peak of the black sitcom. The 90s is the peak of the black sitcom. It was layers. It was layered. You had motherfucking Bobby Brown coming on doing his shit. You had Biggie Smalls spitting and everything. So they was locking in with the upcoming rappers who at that time were like considered to be underground or like they were like on the come up. They were not household names at that time. They was trying to get it how they get it, right? Okay, the Keenan Ivory did I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. Keenan Ivory did I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, but Robert Townsend was the first one who bodied that shit in Hollywood. I would say that Keenan got his he got his quote unquote inspiration to do those spoof movies from Robert Townsend. He doesn't get enough credit. And he was popping before Meteor Man. Let's just, for the record, let's be clear. Robert Townsend was popping before he put out Meteor Man. Okay? And Robert Townsend gave Keenan Ivory his start. Right, Hollywood Shuffle. Okay, so you said Duck. Y'all know him. Y'all know him from there, right? Y'all know him from there. But Robert Townsend was an intellectual genius, a comedic genius, and whatnot. And the way that he was moving, I think he got his blueprint from Mario Van Peebles and his father, because they were like very quote unquote as independent could be back then. Because, like I said, we don't realize how good we have it today, where we could create our own media and be in control of it and have some of the equity. Shout out to Joe Button, who just did an interview and revealed that he makes $20 million off of Patreon a year. Okay? This was not possible back in those days and whatnot. $20 million off of Patreon. $2 million a month. How about that? Yes, Robert Townsend gave us the Parenthood show. He gave us, yeah. Sweet Backs Badass. That is Melvin Van Peebles, who is Mario Van Peebles' father. Also, for the record, Gordon Parks put his name down. He's the one who gave us, what was it, Shaft? Gordon Parks, who is a world-renowned photographer, especially back in those days. He was one of the first photographers to be published by the Times Magazine. Gordon Parks, my G. No, Gordon Parks gave us the pimp shit, right? Parenthood took the Cosby Show blueprint. Facts. Yeah, Melvin was a wild boy. Melvin was definitely, Melvin inspired Spike. Right? So here we have all of this blackness, all of this black excellence, right? Mind you, in the midst of a genocide taking place in our hoods. But the TV shows did not reflect that. The TV shows was not promoting violence. They was not promoting the heavy buffoonery. They were not promoting massage. They were not even promoting homophobia like that. You feel me? They were not promoting racism and shit. Okay, look at Golden Key with the fucking receipts. Monique blew up the UPN with her talk show. Arsenio Hall blew up Fox. So we talking Arsenio Hall, like they were farming us. They were aura farming us. No equity. Okay, Gordon Parks gave us Superfly. No equity. Right? Montel Williams. These are daytime talk shows. Huh? And we wonder why our children are in such a bad shape culturally. And we're wondering why our children are quote unquote just so fucking multicultural with no understanding of any type of history and whatnot. They're not getting cultured. This comes through the entertainment. It comes subtle. It is a subtle programming. It has to happen continuously through all different mediums. So television, radio, movies, motion pictures, comic books, novels, school, like the shit that Neely Fuller and Dr. Francis Cress Wilson pointed out as the 9 quote unquote the 9 spheres of influence. Like they are dismantling all of that from underneath us in our faces. You know? And they got they shit, they building they stupid ass, dumbass dysfunctional ass, agenda-based ass TV shows, and we just eating that shit up. I don't watch TV. My Wiz been trying to get me to watch BMF ever since I found out that nigga's a rat. I can't even watch it. I have not watched television. I watch the computer though. And I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, I'm better or nothing. I'm not attached to none of these shows because they're not black enough. My trinity is this. My holy trinity of recent shows, y'all already know. Lovecraft, The Watchmen on HBO with the black lead, Regina King, and The Watchmen, American Gods, and Lovecraft. You feel me? Like those are that's like my go-to. I will revisit those shows and squeeze more juice out of it. You know what I mean? I cannot watch nothing that I'm not getting involved in white affairs. I don't care about that no more. I'm not going to that. I'm not involving myself to watch a documentary of a white serial killer. You know what I mean? Somebody that body. You know, that's not healthy for me, bro. That's not healthy for my aura. You know what I mean? So I'm spoiled. Yeah, I do watch Black Mirror until they went super zesty with it. I'm kind of spoiled. I did like Atlanta. It took me a while. I did like Supercell. I was rocking with Supercell. I must admit that I watched that. You said The Watchmen had some science in it. Come on, Cam. Some science. I need you to go and watch that again. They had mad science. That had wow. Oh yeah, and I watched The Boys. Thank you, my dude A-Train, and you know what I mean. But I did get into I do watch The Boys. I do watch The Boys with a heavy pause before I press play. I do, and I watched the Penguin. So don't let me get to capping and whatnot, but I don't watch TV like I used to watch TV. I was a TV head, bro. You know what I mean? I was a TV. My son don't watch TV. I don't even want my son watching TV. He be on a tablet, but he has screen time. Thanks to his mom. Cause I don't know how to you know, I'm kind of the disciplinarian. I don't know how to I'm just snatching shit. Like, nah, get off of the tablet, nigga. I don't know how to do all of that stuff. You know what I mean? I come from, cause you know what I'm saying? I come from some strict ass parents. They wasn't playing no shit. So I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have that lighthearted approach. I'm a disciplinarian, you know? But I'm not, TV nowadays, it don't do it for me. I got spoiled by those classic shows that I was telling you about. You know, I don't know what it is with me and nostalgia. You feel me? I think I'm low-key subconsciously trying to go back in time and just stay there. But there's something about back in the days that keeps pulling me backwards into that fucking mind state. I'm trying to get on a new timeline. But the nostalgia shit is literally like, bro, it's better over here. You know what I mean? This is the better fucking reality. This other shit, you know what I mean? That's what really goes to show me that we are on a different timeline. Because I literally have to go into nostalgia, right, to feel a connection. Yeah, remember your peoples called it the idiot box, and here we mad young and rambunctious, and we like, fuck you talking about your idiot box, nigga. This is where I get all of my entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Low key, the shit was a fucking idiot box. You know? So I say all of that to say, right after our golden era in television, the people at MTV came up with the zany idea to premiere one of their first reality television shows built around a family of a known celebrity, right? Now, peep the model, because how television works is they'll try out something, and based off of, it's all about advertising dollars. So they'll try something out on their show. They'll have what is known a pilot show, or they'll they'll green light a show for a season and see what it does. So they went ahead and they came out with this show centered around Ozzy Osbourne, right? Keep up with me. Now, the Ozzy Osbourne was the first massive hit reality show dealing with quote unquote dysfunctional or what they would call a famous family. Bro, you're bugging, everything in balance, middle path. Yeah, you're gonna have to explain what you're talking about, because I would definitely turn up on you on this Thursday, fam. I'm just in that mood right now. I have my coconut juice. I'm ready to step on something. So yeah, please explain what you're talking about. Talking about I'm bugging. Fuck out of here with that. Let me know. Let me know how you really feel. Because I'm adamant about how I feel when I say rest in piss. I'm adamant about that. You know what I'm talking about? I'm very adamant about that. Because the problem is our people are so susceptible to whatever these people feed us. You know what I'm saying? Whatever these people feed us, we just eat it up. But we don't do our research. You don't know who Ozzy Osbourne is. So, first of all, Ozzy Osbourne is a Zionist. Let's be clear about that. Let's be clear about that. Okay? So, yes, you had Ozzy Osbourne, right? None of these shows could fuck with a Cosby Show's worst episode. Okay? None of them. Mind you, the Cosby Show is not reality television. It is a sitcom. A scripted television show and a sitcom. However, they wanted to try some shit out. So right around the time that they give us Ozzy Osbourne on MTV, right? You get the Hulk Hogan shit that comes after that. Right? And ironically enough, right? Ironically enough, we were giving all of this praise to Theo Huxtable, who our people canceled because of the sins of your father fall on the child. And the sins of his TV father caused him to get canceled by black people. Right? Even though they didn't necessarily say it, they wasn't fucking with Theo. Because he had the audacity to stand with his TV dad. They canceled him. I never heard nobody say that they was canceling Ozzy Osbourne. Right? But because Ozzy Osbourne was sitting there mad drugged up, you talking about a fried brain, my nigga? You talking about a fried brain? Right? Because he was sitting there with a fried fucking brain. He couldn't even articulate himself. Right? People thought that shit was cute. I was like, this is just another example of them normalizing abnormal family lives, right? And I know some people would be like, it's more abnormal people than quote unquote than there's more abnormal families than there is normal. All right, granted. However, the reason why shows like Different World, no, he wasn't even a functional fiend. Look, I watched a behind the scenes on this fucking cokehead. I watched the behind the scenes of their show. Their show was a fucking the production people said that the show, the fact they said they had to cut so much stuff out of the show just to get 3 minutes of Ozzy Osbourne looking halfway alive. You understand? They had to film mad shit. It wasn't like they just came and filmed the show and they was out of there and everything. Nah. They was like, this nigga was so fried. He was so fried that they literally had to like cut mad shit on the editing floor just to make him seem like he was halfway normal. Nigga, I didn't ask for no shit like that. I don't need that. Television don't need no stupid shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? You're not trailer trash, but you've turned into trailer trash because you allowed these motherfuckers to feed you trailer trash, processed trailer trash for about 3 decades and whatnot. Niggas was watching Jerry Springer and taking that shit as an instruction manual on how to move around in life. Niggas was watching Ozzy Osbourne and getting influenced by this stupid shit. Niggas is still watching wrestling to this day. Niggas is still watching wrestling to this day and still and put their life on it. Y'all was watching Maury. Y'all was watching fucking Steve Bilko or whatever that nigga name was. Y'all was watching Flavor of Love, Jersey Shore. Like all of these shows trained our people to become what we despise the most. Our behavior and the way we carried ourselves and our zombie-like motherfucking demeanor wasn't like that prior to us immersing ourselves into this quote-unquote Europeans mentality, into their world and whatnot. We've become what we despise the most through integrating ourselves into a septic tank. Them people ain't like us. Them people don't live like us. Them people don't build like us. Them people don't have the morals of us. They don't have the moral compass of us. Them people don't have the history of us. Richard Bay. Yeah, Richard Bay. You know what I mean? Now, I could give props to Phil Donahue. I could give props to Sarah Jesse Raphael. I would say that Ricky Lake was towing the line. You know? I would say that Ricky Lake was towing the line, but there was a lot of those other shows. Jerry Springer, most importantly, he is the one who I aim my quote-unquote cannon at. He's the one who lowered the consciousness. He was the cancer. Jerry fucking Springer, who was he used to be a mayor. This cracker knew better. And when you watch the documentary on his ass on I think it was on Netflix, his show was about to close down. His show was failing and whatnot. He had a super racist producer. You could see you could see the hatred in the nigga face. He decided that he wanted to do some raunchy shit one day. He wanted to go completely to the left and whatnot. And they looked at the ratings and whatnot. And they was like, yo, we're rolling with this shit. We're rolling with this shit. And they turned that shit into a motherfucking minstrel show. I don't think y'all understand. Yeah, he was in Congress. And he was a small hat. I don't think people understand how much damage he caused. So what he was doing is he was hiding amongst other talk shows who had a letter. They were following a certain type of quote unquote business model. So even in the documentary, it shows that he was getting bodied by Sally Jesse Raphael. He could not keep up with Donahue. Donahue had Farrakhan. Donahue had Khalid Muhammad. Donahue had motherfucking Frances Cress Wilson bodying in a debate. She was bodying a small white boy and whatnot. Right? Yeah, it was addictive like crack is addictive. That's the type of addiction. It was addictive like pharmacopoeia is addictive. That's the type of addiction these shows had. It was definitely Channel Zero. Like Public Enemy put out a song called Channel Zero. It was digital opium. So imagine if you on crack. Imagine if you on psychotropics. Imagine if you on pharmacopoeia. Any type of mood altering medication, and you're watching Stephen Bilko, and you're watching motherfucking Ricky Lake, and you're watching Jerry Springer, right? And Maury, and people are fighting in one another and they thumping and they fighting, and one girl is looking for a baby daddy amongst 20 dudes that she let run a train on her. All of that was scripted. That was not real life. It is now, though. It is now. That's what I say. The reason why I single out Jerry Springer, because at least when Ricky Lake had a show about boosters, and I knew when she had the guest on the show, I knew them. I was like, yes, I seen them niggas in Macy's. Those are boosters. You know what I'm talking about? Phil Donahue, he had on guests and whatnot. Those were real guests. Oprah, she had people on her show. Those were real guests. These people on these other people were getting paid. They were bad actors from Backspace and Craigslist. Okay? The KKK jumped Geraldo and wore him out on his show. You know what I'm saying? So Jerry Springer was a minstrel show that was paying people like how they pay people nowadays and doing these skits and whatnot to make fools of themselves and to quote unquote make buffoons of themselves. That's what he was doing. All of this stuff, all of this Vince McMahon type of motherfucking entertainment, it is all brain rot. It's brain rot. You think the internet is brain rot? Nigga, baddies is brain rot. Motherfucking everything on Zeus is brain rot. Basketball Wives is brain rot. The 30th season of the Kardashians, nigga, that's the original brain rot. All of that shit, Shameless, Dexter, all of that shit is brain rot. With these white boys that like killing people. You, it's called the show called You, Dexter, you name them, all of that shit. It's all brain rot. It's spirit rot. Thank you, LT. It's spiritual rot. That shit is pulling on you. It's all kind of shit jumping through the screen, attaching themselves to people when they're sitting there watching that stupid shit. Motherfuckers is eating off of these archons is eating off of your looch. These small hats is doing all type of demonic rituals through the computer and the TV screen. Straight like that. They cooking, they spirit cooking niggas looch off of these shows, feeding off of our emotions, the way that we emote. Niggas get riled up, they eat off of you. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Twitch is brain rot, my niggas. Kick and Twitch are brain rots. Let's get into some Hulk Hogan shit.
Ago, wrestling racist Hulk Hogan got fired for making racist statements.
Are you a racist?
No, I'm not. I never should have said what I said.
Today, it's exactly 10 years later, and he's unalive. The voodoo man strikes again. Black Lives Matter.
We got more.
One in ask.
We got more. So this was a thing. This was on Instagram and I reposted it. Real discussing. Hey Dave, it's CNN. Could you come on and talk about the death of Hulk Hogan? Me, sure. CNN, what would you want to cover? Me, let's see. Some square niggas with their jeans tucked in is gonna try to jump me one day just because of this segment. I could see it. I could see it. Niggas are gonna try to jump me inside of subways or something. Music. Let's see. Hogan was a racist, anti-union scab, and a liar. He hated unions, right? Let me just put that into context. How many wrestlers do we see dying these days of heart attacks, addictions, the fact that they're addicted to painkillers, they're addicted to opiates because they're getting their backs broken and whatnot, they're getting hurt inside of Vince McMahon, right? Vince McMahon's quote unquote World Wrestling Federation. They don't have a union the same way that the rappers don't have a union. They can't get no fucking free teeth, my niggas. Right? So Jesse the Body Ventura tried to quote unquote get unionized, right? He tried to make a move and get the rest of the wrestlers some dental and some Medicaid and some help. And guess who blocked them? Guess who snitched on him? Hulk Hogan. Let's not even talk about Vince McMahon and how they've been hiding and protecting Vince McMahon. Right? The same person whose wife is running the board of education, or she's gutting it. Right? Hulk Hogan was a racist. He hated unions. He hated black people. And the truth is that's why he loved Donald Trump. He also covered up for rapist and sex trafficker Vince McMahon, the husband of current education secretary. Both McMahons, terrible human beings, would no doubt be front and center mourning his death. And wildly, today is the 10-year anniversary of the public release of recorded tapes where he went in on a nigger word-laden tirade. I guess that's what clinched his speaking spot at the RNC. That's his legacy, and that's what I would like to discuss. So what time do you want me at the studio? CNN said, okay, great. Well, we'll keep looking, but thanks for having time to talk. He said, okay, good to talk. One last thing. He really led a horrifying life, a real American scumbag. I hope your reporting reflects, and they hung up on him. Ultimate Warrior called him Ho Hogan. Randy Savage said he broke his marriage up. Nobody liked him. Okay? Nobody liked him. So while people still be going on getting that propaganda, motherfuckers get lied to and whatnot, take your energy back. I don't have no energy to give to this nigga, bro. I'm reserving my energy. Take your motherfucking energy back. I wish I would and had the ancestors piss on my head because I'm out here bigging up racist and whatnot. No, nigga. No. 3 of them went out. 3. I gave you the name of the Heritage dude the other day. The Heritage Foundation, the people behind Project 2025, their president kicked fucking rocks. Then you got Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. He kicked rocks. Now this nigga kick rocks. Nigga, that's 3 packs that I'm smoking tonight. That's 3 packs, nigga. I'm getting a 3.5. How about that? And guess what? Malcolm Jamal Warner was the Prince of Light. And right after him was the Prince of Darkness. Okay? Malcolm Jamal Warner, as we broke him down and as we explained it, he was the Prince of Light. Right? He was such the Prince of Light that people are like, I feel like I lost a loved one. Right? I'm not with mourning Nobody who has an impact on me for one day. Fuck all of that. I'm still mourning him. All of this microwavable mourning, you niggas give somebody their flowers one day on a timeline, then the next day it's like, oh, rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. No, niggas. You're not here. No, nigga. Still rising power. Rising power. Rising power to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Rest in piss to Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne. I said it. Okay? Fuck out of here. Y'all niggas has got me tweaking right now. Y'all, that's why I respect. If I give any respect to the YNs, it's the fact that they stand on business, nigga. A op is a op. A op is a op, my nigga. The young niggas stand on business. If you a op on Wednesday, you a op on Monday. They don't give a fuck if you pastor or whatnot, nigga. Yeah, nigga, you gotta see. You're going to have to see the ancestors. A op is a op. People be, I know, that's why I did this shit during work hours. It's not safe for work, my niggas. I don't want to get nobody in no type of pickle and whatnot, but it's not safe for work. That Hulk Runts is hitting is green, nigga. That Hulk Runts is hitting is green, my nigga. The op is the op. Because they're the same ones that would say rest in piss if one of our great leaders died. They're the same ones that say rest in piss when the Trayvons and the Alton Sterlings and all of the great ones who were our martyrs and whatnot, they the ones that be on the front line telling our people rest in piss. So what we talking about? Nigga, when I say there's a war going on outside, my nigga, it's a fucking war every day, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? This nigga was our hero, bro. I don't know nothing about Ozzy, but this nigga right here was our hero, bro. Don't let me get up here and start acting like I didn't fuck with Hulk Hogan, nigga. He was him when we were children. Nigga, Rocky 3. Rocky 3. You said who's hero? Nah, he was my hero. We was 10, nigga, 10, what? Hulkamaniacs? We didn't know any better. My dad couldn't stand him, and I was like, why, Dad? I just thought he was hating. I thought he was hating. He probably knew something that I didn't know. But my dad was like, fuck all of that, fuck all of these wrestlers. He didn't like none of that shit. One of us was Macho Man. Ooh, yeah, Elizabeth. You know, I'm a twin. So everything in my house it had to be two of us. So it was always good guy, bad guy. It was always, you know what I mean? Op versus op. So Blue would be Randy Savage. I would be Hulk Hogan. Blue would be motherfucking Undertaker. I'll be Ultimate Warrior. Like, I had the toy. I did not miss an episode. I did not miss one episode of wrestling. I was locked the F in, bro. I was locked the F in. What was his name on Rocky 3? What was his name? No, it wasn't Rocky 3. It was Rocky 2. What was his name? Damn, it's on the tip of my head. What was his name? Jake the Snake, Junkyard Dog, all of them. Thunder Lips? Oh my goodness, pause. Thunder Lips? God damn. Pause. It was Rocky 3. That the same one with my nigga Dolph Lundgren. Thunder Lips. Oh, Big Paul. I didn't know it was Thunder. I thought it was something else. Yeah. But it hit us like a ton of bricks to find out that the big homie was a shitball. It hit us hard, bro, to find out that fucking Thunder Lips was a racist. It's the same way when I heard that Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, what's his name? The Rocky nigga. All of them are ops. I'm waiting to roll all of them up. They all a pack. You know what I'm saying? They are all a pack, bro. We don't got no time for them. You don't fuck with us, we don't fuck with you. Not sitting around asking questions. I know why you don't fuck with us. Okay, so who was Clubber Lang? That's the name that I was looking for. Who was Clubber Lang? Who was Clubber Lang? That was Hulk Hogan's name. Oh, Mr. T was Club. Okay, Mr. T. Okay. Okay. Big Clubber Lang. Yeah. Legends. Okay, so that's what it was. It was Clubber Lang. It was Mr. T. That's what it was. It was Mr. T and Rocky. Yeah, fuck that nigga Hulk Hogan. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, you let us down, bro. You let us down, bro. We was rocking with you. That's why it's a little severe right now. I will go harder. Pause. It hit different because he was somebody that we kind of trusted. He was somebody we kind of trusted. We rock with him, bro. Debo, he let us out bad, yo. So that's why the smoke is what it is. That's why the smoke is what it is. And he had time to heal that. What's up with Brooke Hogan? Where's she at and how she looking these days? Did she age yet? Did she look like what's going on with her? Because she stopped fucking with her dad. You still smoking on that Dog the Bounty Hunter pack? Yeah, I heard that shit was hitting and whatnot. You know what I mean? Brooke just had twins. Wait a minute. Nick Hogan is in jail for manslaughter? Come on, fam. That I'm just saying, like, how, Sway? His son is in jail for Nick don't need to be in nobody's jail, bro. That nigga was a marshmallow. Nick don't need to be in nobody's jail, bro. Come on, fam. What are we doing? When heroes turn to zeros. Okay, he out. But he caught a manslaughter charge. Let's make sure it was a white dude that he smoked. Please go and do the research. Yeah, because if he was in there, that nigga is washing Hulkamania drawers. He is the Maytag for real. But for Hulk Hogan and trying to stop Brooke, and you live in Florida, nigga, you lost that war. All them bad bunnies out there, nigga, you lost bad Barbies and shit. Sir, you lost that war. That's a war that you can't win, fam. You trying to keep Brooke from the niggas? Nigga, To all white men in Florida, nigga, you lost that war. It ain't even worth fighting. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't even worth fighting. That was a war that you didn't even have you didn't have no business fighting that, nigga. You won a lot of matches in the WWE, but you can't win the match from keeping your girls from choosing, nigga. You cannot. That's a match that you can't win, sir. If I was your lawyer, I would have been told you. I'd have gave you some advice. You cannot win that war. Them white girls in Florida is choosing, nigga. They very choosy, you know? So, yeah, man, you know, bad decisions on your behalf, sir. But there's nothing that we could do for you at this point. You know what I'm saying? There's really nothing that we could do for you. You fucked up big time. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go and see about these Ozzy Osbourne people, since everybody wants the Osbournes, the Osbournes. That's disgusting. Black men need to stay away from white women. How can we get independence if we are entangled with they women? Go tell them niggas that shit. Go tell every single young nigga that's running behind a snow bunny what you just said. Because you don't need to tell us that over here. We ain't chasing no fucking peckerwoods. But go tell that to the young niggas, because that is, nigga, they live for that. You know what I'm talking about? They live for that. That's goals with a lot of these young boys. You know what I'm talking about? That's goals with a lot of these young boys. You know? You can't tell them shit. Them niggas will jump Dr. Umar if they seen him. You know what I'm talking about? Them niggas will they will jump his ass if they seen him in the airport. You know what I mean? They are not trying to hear that shit. You know? The Osbournes. I wish I would. I wish I would. I wish I would. Y'all niggas done lost your minds. So like I said, the Osbournes were the antithesis to the Cosbys and whatnot. And I don't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? They put them people out there to continue to pull our people down that quote unquote rabbit hole, that white trash rabbit hole, where our people are mimicking their quote unquote behaviors, mimicking their dysfunctions, mimicking their kinks, because people do this kinky shit that they be into. You know? Yeah, I heard about the T app. That shit is #1 in the quote unquote app store. Now Janae N says, fuck the Cosbys too. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? You know? Qualify that. All cultures are whack. Who believe in a dead internet theory? Because this might be one of them. You know what I mean? This might be one of them. But look, let's look at some clips. Let's look at some things, right? Let's look at some things. Let's check some things out. That's an NPC. She bugging. Yeah, man. They sent the bots over. They heard us throwing Ozzy and these niggas under the bus. They sending bots on us, I guess. Let's check this out.
And Travis Scott are the perfect case studies for the Black suburban boy experience and what happens when you feel the need to perform a culture, struggle, survival story that you never lived. Drake, especially as of late, performs the hood. He borrows the slang, energy, edge that comes from various hood cultures, whereas Travis disrespects the elders of that culture and shrugs at its lineage, all the while using that same culture as a backdrop to his productions. two different responses to the same internal question of how do I fit into a culture that the world assigns me by default, but I have no real claim to. That's why the Black boy suburbia experience must be one of the most surreal, perplexing journeys in America. What I saw growing up was performance, right? You must be the athlete, the comedic relief, too cool to care. You build your persona or personality from a representation of you that you have no real claim or relation to. You haven't lived that struggle but desire the respect that comes from that culture. You mimic it, costume it, and then disregard the people that originated it. One of Kendrick's most important messages in Not Like Us is that the hood, the ghetto, is not a movie set piece. It's not a backdrop. And the only people who should be able to have some sort of social currency off of that are the people who experienced it. Artists like Kendrick and Clips have every right to protect a house that they were born into and that they build upon because they know what it costs for that house to be there in the first place. Artists like Drake and Travis Scott use the house as a backdrop, as a playpen, as something to dibble in and out of. There's so much more to be said on this topic. The Black boy suburban experience is a true phenomenon that I don't think has been dissected, analyzed, studied as thoroughly as the Black girl suburban experience. I'd love to hear from people, especially Black men, about that experience of growing up in suburbia and what that means, what it looks like to you, how it's informed your.
Yeah, I love those think pieces that come out on my timeline and whatnot. You know, very insightful. Something to definitely think about. Drake is dropping some shit tonight. He's trying to get his name back. You know what I mean? He's trying to get his name back. He's trying to beat the Michael Jackson record and whatnot. Yeah. So yeah. We not impressed. We're not impressed. We're not even impressed with Travis Scott anymore. You know what I mean? He's kind of corny. What up, Spin? You know what I mean? We're not even impressed. He's looking real goofy after people done outed him. Then when I listen to the music, it don't even sound the same. Shit don't even sound. Travis Scott don't even hit the same after I look at him in a different light. But this is a conversation that I would love for our people to have. It ties into the conversation that we started out when we were talking about the Cosby Show and the whole, you know, aesthetics of Theo, right? Because theoretically, Theo, like as a rapper, who is Theo more like? Like what rapper would embody Theo Huxtable? I would say Talib Kweli or a Mos Def or something. I would say a mix between a Talib and a Chance the Rapper. Yeah. You know. Who did his character who is his twin inside of entertainment? People are saying Common mixed with Will Smith, Guru, Lupe, right? There's a difference between all of these people that we're naming and a Drake or a Travis Scott, right? We have to be able to separate the two. Of all of these names, Pasta News, you know, Plug 1, Plug 2, Plug 3, Maceo, Pasta News, Dub, Kwame, Chance the Rapper, Mos Def, even Will Smith out of West Philly, Lupe, Guru, right? Who was in No Punk, Yasin Bey out of the hood, right? Common out of Chi-Town. You feel me? Q-Tip. LL Cool J. Look at this. Ain't your wife. Nigga, what are you talking about? You always come here obsessed with these interracial, biracial. Nigga, my wife is all black. What is your problem, Gerard? Like, who are you? You on weird timing, bro. Pasta Noose, De La Soul, Big Daddy Kane. Like, all of these archetypes are the antithesis to a Travis Scott. That's why I somewhat pointed out that the Theo Huxtable conversation about who he was, right? Or who Theo Huxtable represented, that's not what you see in a Drake or R.B. Graham. That's not what you see in a quote unquote a Travis Scott. These are a little more, like the sister said in the video, these are more of a performative type of role. Theo Huxtable wasn't performative. There were many Theo Huxtables in the hood. I remember Kanye West, even in one of his rhymes, comparing himself to Theo Huxtable. Theo Huxtable was goals when I was growing up. People really wanted to be on some Theo shit. And then I like No Name. I like her intellect. And then we got O-Dog. Right? No, I agree. All rappers are performative because every single rapper is playing a character. Is playing a quote unquote character. They are in their alter ego, right? They are in their alter ego, and there's nothing wrong with that. We've already covered that before. You have a person like a Tupac. That's the alter ego. LaShane, or whatever name that his mama called him, that would be his original self, right? That would be who he is. But when he's in his character, he's Tupac, right? However, some of these artists, when you get to know them, they are almost inseparable from their character. They're almost inseparable from their character. Yeah, Drake stays in character. Is Nas an alter ego? All of them have that. The minute you change your name, that's why Kanye West came out with his name. The minute you change your name to some type of name, that is an alter ego. There's nothing wrong with having an alter ego. Some people have 100 alter egos. Some people, you get paid from your alter ego. How fly is that? You literally became a millionaire by having an alter ego and empowering that alter ego who is gifted in some type of way. Ah, man. I mean, that's a flex. That is a flex. So for everybody who has a character, or they're familiar with the character, they're comfortable with their character, and they've matured their character, they've groomed that character, they've quote unquote trained that character for the public space or for the big stage and whatnot, go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and do your thing, because that's what this is. That's what Showtime is. That's what the music business is. That's what the movie business is. That's what all this called a business. You know what I mean? It's Showtime. It's Showtime. So Theo Huxtable had young men wanting to become his character. They wanted to mimic and design and fashion themselves after him. Then we had this flood of all of this negative nigga shit, right? That was basically flooding the airwaves, flooding the movie theaters, flooding our culture almost to a point where it was a deluge and whatnot. Then when you look up, niggas want to be a roughneck. They want to be a gangbanger. They want it to be O-Dog. Nobody wanted to be Sharif, the intellect inside of the movie. They didn't want to be Sharif. They didn't want to kick knowledge. They wanted to be a motherfucking gangbanger. They wanted to sell crack. They wanted to be a quote unquote. They wanted to wear Dickies, and they wanted to have plaits in their hair. This was all done by design. So the whole thing of people wanting to be like Theo, that kind of went away until the rise of Kanye and his quote unquote band of black nerds, right? That whole black nerds type of thing, when Ye popped it off with the polo and the designer backpack and whatnot. And then when he beat 50 Cent in that battle on 9/11, when they went up against each other for record sales. And then after that, Lupe comes, you know, it opened the door for the Lupes. It opened up the door for all of these, what we would call, at that point, they were seen as weird. But when I was coming up, when Theo Huxtable was more prominent, that wasn't seen as weird. That was seen as a regular black archetype. Yeah, Pharrell, the nerds, the backpack rappers. Yeah, we're living in the Revenge of the Blurs right now. You know what I mean? We're living through the era of the Revenge of the Blurs. You know? So I would love to see something like that come back. Now we got Tyler, the Creator. Who heard the album? Who heard the album? You know. You said that's how you get DJ Academics. Did y'all like the you like? I'm not a dancer. I'm not a big dancer. I don't dance a lot. But apparently the album is made for people who want to dance. So definitely go ahead and get your dance on, because that is what it is. It's a dancing album. I gotta get in this. I have to, for me, I'm driving, listening to it. And I'm like, because I'm just listening to the Clips album in the car with the surround sound, like the shit sounds cinematic. So it didn't hit me the same because I'm not in the right setting to hear the album. I seen his ass dancing his ass off. He's having dance parties and whatnot, playing his album. So I'm like, that's the setting that you need to absorb the album in a club without your phone in your hand and whatnot. Theo gave us respect for your parents, doing things with your dad, being a big brother, a son and his mother, a son and his father, little brother supporting big sister, the best friend, etc. Like, he had mad girlfriends and it was platonic. He wasn't the gay friend. He was just able to rock out with quote unquote the opposite sex, understand them. He had emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? He wasn't perfect, but who is? Who wants to be? Nigga, God ain't perfect. You know? His verse on the Clips album, to be honest with you, all of those guest verses, nothing really stood out to me on the Clips album. They was holding, the only one that was Ab Live. They kind of meshed with what they was on. That Nas shit, it sounded like he just emailed it in. It didn't fit it didn't fit the aesthetics. It didn't fit the energy. Like the Tyler, that didn't really, you know what I mean? Some of that shit sounded forced. It sounded a little forced. They was holding their own. I don't even think that they needed no special guests. You know what I'm saying? Even the Kendrick verse, it was all right, But oh yeah, Stove God, that hook was on point. But no, the nigga Pusha T opened it up with the verse, and he opened up the song with his hook was better than Stove, if you ask me. You know, I didn't say that the verse wasn't dope. I didn't say that the verse wasn't dope. You know what I mean? I did not say what I said. All of the verses, the guest verses, they was all right, but the album, the way that it sounds, the way that the whole setting, everything, like the story, the all of that, you feel me? It just they didn't need nobody. If it was just them, they didn't need nobody. They had people on it, and I'm like, cool, but they didn't need nobody. Somebody go check on Pharrell. I mean Kanye, because all of his ops is lit right now. You know what I'm talking about? His ops, they done formed a whole new adventures on his ass. Go and check on Ye, my nigga, because he out there punching the air. He gotta be. You know what I'm talking about? He gotta be. He gotta be. And to be honest with you, I heard the Dot segment that I listened to the album. It's not that much drug talk. You know what I mean? There's references, but it wasn't that much drug talk on this album, to be honest with you. And you know, I was a big critique of Pusha T and that whole drug selling type of but he used that as a backdrop. The drug, the fact that they talk, you know, caviar, coke talk, that was kind of in the backdrop. It wasn't like he has motherfucking coke selling anthems on it. You know what I mean? He just couldn't move away. You know what I mean? Cocaine cowboy rap. You know? It was a little more in depth with life. It's definitely caviar cocaine rap. But like I said, he opened it up with that energy on his parents. Somebody said that was the version of the father version of Dear Mama. That was Dear Father. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's growing more on me as I listen into it more. It's growing more on me. It's to be listened to in high volumes. Definitely, it's to be listened to in high volumes. Remember when we so hungry right now. That is a fact. We are definitely starved as a people for good music. So we'll take damn near anything this you know, this halfway decent. You know what I'm talking about? It's such a drought. It's a drought. So who remembers when I came up with I showed this a few days ago. Yeah, Malicious was killing it. He was going crazy. He was going crazy on that shit. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't waste one bar. Malicious was going crazy. I like that. Who heard the Benny the Butcher album? I heard that too. He's crawling back. You know what I'm talking about? He's crawling back. But the thing that made Benny is the sound. He needs to get right back in that sound, in that pocket where you know what I mean? Where West Side Gun had him at, with the no drums. That he needs those beats, my G. He needs to stay with those beats. Benny, you listening? Yeah, you need to stay with that sound and just chill. You know what I mean? You trying to make bop music. That's not where you were shining at. You need to make caviar cocaine rap. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that I was listening to that. I was listening to that Nas verse, the one that they kept on the album, and I like it. I like it. You know, I like it. You know, I definitely like it. However, Raekwon said specifically, adamantly, "Yo, that verse is not about Jimmy. He had to save Jim Jones and whatnot. Nas is coming out with an album though. You know, Nas is coming out with an album. So I'm sure he's going to address it on his album and not waste it on anybody else's album. But remember this, that the company selling the Labubu doll, so many people are buying this doll that is now worth more than Mattel, Hasbro, and Sanrio combined. You know, combined. So check this out.
Are the exact indicator of what happened. Labubus are the exact indicator of what happens when the economy cracks. People stop reaching for logic, they start reaching for a feeling. They stop wanting assets and start wanting anchors and attachments. Because no one is buying Labubu for its function, they're buying it to feel something. To feel like they can be in control again in an economy where a lot of things just seem kind of out of control. We've seen it over and over again when people start obsessing over small things with big emotions. When absurdity feels more honest and more achievable than aspirations, that is not a trend. That is a climate. Because when people cannot change their reality, they start creating tiny versions of a better one. Labubus are not the cause, they're the symptom. The symptom of a market where attention is frayed and hope is stretched thin and the economy is simply unpredictable. Anyways, I'm saying all of this to say, if those 4-inch little things can disrupt the entire market, you can share your content and find your people and disrupt the entire industry.
The Labubu as a recession indicator. People are now escaping to literally fantasy and whatnot. They are creating fantasy worlds outside of the reality that some people may deem to be too heavy to face or too, quote unquote, you know, so much going on and so much this and so much that and so much da 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 da, and people are just literally immersed. They're obsessing over this little demonic ass looking doll, and I'm like, it makes sense now. When I saw that video, it kind of makes sense. You feel me? It kind of makes sense. But people they got a lot of growing, they got a lot of maturing, and they just showing us, like Black Dot said, we are literally living in the zombie land. We are surrounded by zombies now. Yeah, remember the Gia Pet? We are surrounded by zombies, and they keep showing us through their actions and whatnot. And sooner than later, it's going to be very dangerous. You know, it's going to be very dangerous to be around these people. You know, it's going to be very fucking dangerous to be breathing the same air as some of these folks, bro. This shit is getting scary outside. Check this out.
People, what's most effective, what we found, at least in the last year, is you do the opposition research, put up some anonymous website, and then put up targeted Facebook ads. Every few hours, you drip out a new piece of the opposition research. It's psychological warfare. Drives them crazy. Do it securely and anonymously, and that's the key.
It sounds very similar to like a canary mission and that kind of thing. Is that, yeah. Are you guys like in touch with them at all, or is there any kind of, no?
No, Canary Mission is totally anonymous.
Yeah,
it's hard to figure out who's behind it. Canary Mission is highly, highly effective to the extent that we monitor the Students for Justice in Palestine and their allies. We're doing it better. I mean, not we, but this some anonymous group.
So understand that big tech, all of the social media sites, all of the top ones, excluding fan base, are majority owned by small hats. And not only do they own the social media, they understand how to work it. You understand? They've been able to create a propaganda machine, something that the world has never seen before. And it must really be like taking candy from a baby, because they're literally just sitting back, shaping reality how they see fit, basically changing timelines and coercing people to believe anything that they throw at them. As much as people will say, yo, that shit about them trying to say that the Epstein thing is a hoax, that's a crock of shit. And we know, looking at it in the first inning, that it was a desperate, very egregious move by not Trump. This is not a Trump thing. This is a bipartisan thing. Let's be clear. The Epstein situation is bipartisan. What does bipartisan mean? Both wings of the bird are working this shit. This is not a one-sided thing, and it's not just a Trump thing. Everybody's running for cover. So in the first inning, we see it as desperate. At the first inning, we see it as, they can't get away with this. In the first inning, we're like, man, this is a crock of shit. We know that he's lying. Literally, they just put out an article from the Wall Street Journal, and they published the pictures of Epstein at Trump's wedding. They published a deposition where Trump's name was mentioned. And they also said that Trump was informed by the Department of Justice that he was in the files more than 30 plus times. But keep in mind, when we're looking at that and we're like, yeah, get him. Also, Clinton was in the trial in the files. And I believe Obama was in the files as well. So in the first inning is looking like, yeah, they're not going to get away with this. But what about in the seventh inning? What about in the bottom of the eighth? What is it going to look like? Because people, I don't know if y'all know how long propaganda campaigns go for. They've already consulted with GPT-6, right? Let's think about this. Donald Trump, who just put out something, he put out AI. They just passed a whole AI bill. He's surrounded by all of the technocrats. They're building $50 billion data centers or $50 billion supercomputers. So if we got GPT-4 right now, the government had GPT-6. So they've literally sat down and was able to run the scenario through quantum computers and their AIs and whatnot. And they're like, yo, give us a 30-day play on how to change the tides and get people's mind off of Epstein onto something else. And they can't do everything at once. And they can't change your mind in one day, but they could change your mind in 100 days if they try hard enough. They're not going to change my mind. But for the people that watch CNN, for the people who got duped into taking poison and whatnot, a poisonous shot, for the people who got convinced that, that the sky was falling on some Chicken Little shit, yes, they have the opportunity, they have the technology, and they know how to change and sway your opinion and put you in a place where you will be completely distracted. So the latest distraction in Hollywood, Capitol Hill, is when all else fails, when shit gets real bad and you can't go for anything else, you go with your Trump card. And the Trump card that they're playing right now is the Trump card that always worked, and is basically the killing of the king, right? So as they were banging down the White House doors with the tiki torches, and he had his own people jumping ship, right? He had his own people jumping ship, right? His own people jumping ship. He had his own people ready to turn on him. What did he do? He went into his back pocket and he pulled out his Trump card, which was Barack Hussein Obama. And if there's one thing that will take white people's minds off of hanging another white man, is when you give them a nigga in his place. So we have political theater 101 being played out on the stage in front of us, where Barack Hussein Obama is now being accused of treason, and he has him in the crosshairs, and he's promising white America that he's going to finish the job that he literally came to finish when he took him on in 2016. And what did he run on? What was Donald Trump's initial platform? That I'm going to expose Barack Hussein Obama, and I'm going to bring him somehow, some way, white America, to the gulags, right? Remember, his initial infraction against Barack was that he was lying in his birth certificate. He started out as a birther. So what would that wind up doing? That would eventually wind up disqualifying him for being the first black president. Then they would basically be able to, prosecute him. Because if you're lying about your birth certificate and everything, you're prosecutable and whatnot. They would have came up with ways to publicly shame, strip him, and his name would never be uttered again. And they would scratch his names off of the wall like they did Akhenaten, right? That was before Donald Trump even ran for president. He was on his heels with the Boston Tea Party and the motherfucking birthers. Who remembers that? That was his initial smoke with Barack. Okay? And then fast forward, he's always had this little infatuation with this man, right? He's always had a love. It ain't even a love-hate. He's always had an infatuation of hate when it came to this man who he'll say his whole name. He's one of the only Caucasians that says Barack Hussein Obama, right? He has now come forward and said that Obama's administration was responsible for the Russian hoax, and he has proof of it. And he went on live and called him a he accused him of treason, and basically on live television to invigorate his base, right? To invigorate his base. And to galvanize his base to do what? To galvanize his base and to deputize his base into in so many ways radicalize his base. Right? He wants somebody in white America to take because a lot of things are being said. You just got to have the ears to listen to it. The dog whistle that's being blown is they try to take me out, right? They try to lock me up. They try to take me down. They've committed the highest form of sin, because what does treason get you in the military? The penalty for treason is death. So the dog whistle that's being blown to his base is, you know what, guys? We don't even got to prosecute him. That's going to take too long. We don't even got to go through through those ropes and whatnot. I want his head. And I'm Donald Trump, and there's nobody that could stop me right now because I have the protection of the quote unquote Constitution that says that I can't be prosecuted, right? So he's calling for the killing of the king. That's what he's calling for. Pay close attention to what you see taking place before you and whatnot. They don't just want to lock him up. They might want to lock Hillary up, but they have this quote unquote bloodlust for the Moor, right? Remember, they are in their crusade era. These are Christian nationalists in their crusade era. Okay? They need a sacrifice. And if anybody studies the crusades and whatnot, you know, the ritual of the killing of the kings or the prince was the killing of the Moors, the Moorish kings or the Moorish prince. That's the three heads that you see on the flag in Corsica. And then when you go ahead and do this, there's a metaphysical story called the chemical wedding and whatnot, or the chemical romance out of the Rosicrucian history. The Rosicrucians are a secret society and whatnot. All right, Sardina. It's the Sardina flag. So pay close attention to what you see and just keep one eye open, because it's literally going down. He and his cohorts will not go down for the Epstein fiasco. They're not going to let that happen. They don't give a fuck how much evidence comes out. They're not going to go down. They will commit a coup d'etat before they allow somebody to take them down for that. And to add insult to injury, the Congress, the people that American citizens, taxpayers elected and whatnot, this Congress is supposed to uphold some type of moral standard and whatnot. The motherfuckers called recess all the way to October to avoid a vote, right? Now, the fact that society is still functioning and people going to work and taxpaying American is cool with that, it just goes to show you, right? It just goes to show you where we're at. Like, you are literally, your government has been taken over, and the people are so docile that they won't do anything about it, right? Look, this is a political rag and whatnot. Epstein crisis forces Republicans to shut down House early. Republican leaders are stalling on Epstein. House GOP leaders are canceling Thursday votes and sending members home early for a month-long recess as the Jeffrey Epstein crisis deepens on Capitol Hill. The decision to move up summer recess came after Republicans lost control of the floor over bipartisan pressure to vote on releasing Epstein-related documents. House committees will keep working throughout the week, but there will be no further floor votes after Wednesday. GOP leaders were talking with Trump administration officials, searching for ways to appease Republican members, incensed over the lack of public information and Speaker Mike Johnson's handling of the matter broadly, right? So remember, this is a bipartisan situation. It's not only the quote-unquote Republicans. They have Democrats that are hiding. They have to protect the Clintons. They have to protect Obama and them. They have to. Oh, y'all couldn't see it? Y'all couldn't see the screen? Damn. Hold on. Right? So these are criminals at work. These are criminals at work. Okay? And they want you to abide by the law, and they penalizing everything that you're doing. They gave that young brother life, right? They gave a black man life, a rapper life, and 70 years, right? And your president is being accused of that and worse, right? The president, the United States American president, is being accused of that and worse. And he's been convicted of shit already. But he's been accused of rape multiple times. Not just one time, multiple times. Right? So if a rapper could get life for grape, then what the fuck is the president about to do? What they gonna do to the president? Because there's talks of underage women. There's talks of all type of violence. There's all type of shit going on. So I'm saying that to say we got to keep our eyes open, bro. This shit,
People, it's most.
this is egregious. Let's have a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, word from our sponsors, Infinite Treasures. Whoa!
What is Infinite Treasures? Like all things born out of the genius of necessity, infinite treasures in the spirit of the ancient earthkeeper tradition of Kephara, the scarab beetle. We gather all manner of earth relics, high energy hand-picked crystals, stones, minerals, and pure metals, and weave them into sacred geometric forms that elevate consciousness. 30 years of research and development have revealed secrets to creation. Sacred geometry is the structured form of mathematics that brings about manifestation. Laws that manifest on Earth can also transcend through space and time.
Trumpet sounds of golden arch. I saw in a Zion these crystal balls of lightning.
Definition of a crystal: order, symmetry at the biological level. Melanin is a complex crystalline biopolymer. It is found in the nuclei of all cells, and concentrations of melanin may be found in the brain. Melanin is that X factor that opens up those subtle realms and means of communication. Again, intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience. Yes, I.
Crystal balls of lightning, thundering difference, hard 4 and 20 Haitians around this part. It was very cloudy, earthquake over the north and the south side, seraphim thrones and
Legal shots. Real quick, I wanted to because I'm out here telling people that we got a 3-for-1. There's a trinity of dead quote unquote white racism. Don't put Malcolm Jamal Warner in the same thing as Ozzy Osbourne and quote unquote what's his name? Hulk Hogan. No, this is the third one. Heritage Foundation founder Edwin FEULNER dies at 83. So the Heritage Foundation is the people behind Project 2025. Okay. Heritage continues to deeply impact American conservatism, including being the institution that created Project 2025, widely considered the policy blueprint of Donald Trump's quick-moving second term. It is. It's not considered. It is the policy blueprint. You understand? It's their playbook. It's what they're drawing from. So that whole big bad bill, the big bad bill that's cutting all of the programs, the shit that made ICE a standing army, all of these things, right, are coming from the Heritage Foundation. You might not know about the Heritage Foundation, but anybody that's in the field and whatnot, spirit cooking these crackers, they know who the Heritage Foundation is, and that was the first one to go. So this is dominoes in hell, my nigga. This is this is domino. The name of this episode is Rest in Piss. This is dominoes. These dominoes are falling in hell. Talk about the ancestors ain't working, my nigga. Yeah, they working. Somebody getting cooked. So he went. Then the other racist went. Ozzy Osbourne, who's a filthy racist. Let's pull his shit up. Because y'all niggas, you know, you got to show people proof. They start getting all, fucking, they start taking shit personal. Oh, I don't know what's going on with Red Pill. Everybody's a racist. He doesn't like anybody. No, nigga. No. Y'all forgot the motherfucking, y'all forgot the code. Y'all forgot the code. You know? So the wife is racist. She got fired over being racist. Right? You could just tell on the show that they was a bunch of shit-kicking crackers who was just playing nice for the cameras, but they couldn't even hold their racism on camera, bro. I don't know if y'all was looking at the same shit that I was looking at, but these were some dirty ass. Yeah. Give me a minute, y'all. Nah, the shit don't want to open up. Oh, what do you like that? Give me 1 minute. There we go. I don't know what was going on. It was giving me some difficulties. All right.
So obviously suffering, you know. I really had a hard time with it, you know what I mean? Even just, I feel like it's something I still have to confront. But I mean, at the time, I sort of felt like, oh, they're making this poor man go on stage when, you know, clearly he's not up to it. And how can they do that to him? But that was before he died. Now that he died, and especially since he died so soon after, it's like, no, that was exactly the point. That was what he wanted. He wanted basically a big Irish wake. And that's what that was. But it was before he was dead. So I did not recognize it as a big Irish wake until he passed. And then it was like, oh, okay, all right. You know, and you know, that aspect of it, you know, just seeing.
Yeah, Irish wake. What he's talking about is they had Ozzy Osbourne on stage looking crazy. He had did a concert recently, and he was basically sitting up there looking like Bernie, Weekends at Bernie's and whatnot. You feel me? He was looking like Weekends at Bernie's. So a lot of people were in an uproar about that. Let me go ahead and this shit is starting to act goofy. And my time is up. And talking about when it start acting goofy, it's time to go. So let me get up out of here. God damn it. I'm literally in another, they won't even let me come back into this, my back office. Give me a minute. This shit is acting wacky. But yeah, it's pretty much the show. We pretty much have arrived at that point, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're at the 2-hour mark. For all of my KTLians, we have class mañana, tomorrow, class number 4, week number 4 in our series. And triple AI, let me play the clip. And then we out of here. Give me 1 minute. Let's play this clip. Boom.
Triple ATM Master Workshop, Build and Deploy the AI Empire. Behind the world's next billion-dollar companies, the ultimate 4-week certification to dominate the age of AI with automation, agentic systems, and monetizable APIs. Stop being a spectator in the AI revolution. Build your own automated empire, deploy autonomous agents, and monetize your stack with real APIs in 30 days.
Yeah, that part.
What if you could hire a 24/7 team of employees, developers, and marketers without paying a single salary? Welcome to the Triple ATM system, a complete AI, automation, and API training and deployment ecosystem for modern entrepreneurs, consultants, digital creators, and business owners who want to own the infrastructure of the future. In this 4-week live virtual master workshop, you'll go beyond prompts and ChatGPT and engineer the AI stack that powers high-profit, hands-free businesses.
All right. I'm going to end this one with a song from me and A.A. Rashid. Y'all probably never heard this. It came out a few years ago. It's called November 13th and 14th. And yeah, that's for some new music Thursdays, all right? So let me end this on, let me play this, and then I'm going to end it on the Facts remix. Check this out.
Scared to be famous, nigga. Yeah. How could I say this though? How could I say this? How would I say this? I is not the aim, nigga. Group mind, I find inside my mind, your mind, patterns and matters, concepts, misguided precepts, factors, to this day, chatter, sabotage, cameras and laughter. Tear comes after, carbon is faster, so has lather, wash you feet. To this day, yeah. To this day, how could I say this though? How could I say this? How would I say this? I is not the aim, nigga. Group mind, I find inside my mind, your mind, patterns and matters, concepts, misguided precepts, factors, poverty and chatter, sabotage, cameras and laughter. Tear comes after, carbon is faster, soap has lather, wash you, fix you, 3 dice, 6 you, deceive the deceiver. Quiet, this is radio, make a believer. Salt margarita, edge of the glass, holds a receiver, magnetic ultra, cool Keith culture. culture. Look at the headdress, serpents and vultures. Myth is our culture. Myth is my culture, nigga. How could you say what I said, what I saw when I seen it, nigga? How could I say this though? How would I say this without being famous? I is not the aim, nigga. Mind I find inside my mind and your mind. Quantum physicist, no bad vibes, nigga. No bad lyricists, no broke racists, nigga. No broke rich shit, no more losses, no fake bosses, no fake importance. How could I say it, nigga? How would I say this without being famous? I is not the aim.
To this day,
mind I find
to this
inside
day,
my mind is your mind. Patterns and matters. Patterns and matters.
Rest in piss, I'm a rude boy. Eating Escovitch on some breakfast shit. Chew the bones and impress your bitch. Neck and wrist, got them head spinning exorcists. Perfectionist, I'm your excellence. Perfected the sauce on some barbecue Texas shit. Connected to source, I'm a force to be reckoned with. Weapons lift, paramedics on their second shift. No man can stop you niggas from your exodus. Get it out the mud like Texas fisheries expeditiously. Life is a bitch and I sex her viciously. Eat her flesh for breakfast at Tiffany's. It's 2022. Niggas want some mystical red. All they got was pistols instead. Crystals is red. Pay us in the crypto instead. You seen us on the astral realm. Made you niggas piss in your bags.
to this day, to this day, to this day, to this day, to this day.
Peace, y'all. We're gonna catch up on the strong end, all right?
Red, blue, purple light, red, blue, purple light, facts, red, blue, purple light, red, and blue, purple light, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light, peace, love to the family, peace, love and light to the family, peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you and it's going to provoke you and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.